Hello guys, welcome to Frontlinetactic. Today I'm reviewing an MMO I've been playing a little bit of, was kind of shown to me and I thought I'd give it a try. It's called Scarlet Blade. It's free to play, very Korean feeling. The combat's kind of fun just because it's very high impact and explosive. That kind of works off of a neat timing system for the combos, but it's not really a combo. It's a combos of sort. I'll show you combat in a second. The major key to this game so far is the fact that it looks, just the major selling point is the high amount of TNA, which, to each their own. Some people like it, some people don't. As you can see here, I'll show you the stealth mechanic and then pop out. And the timing is a little difficult because you have to time the rotation of your auto attack in order to do a special attack. And so unless you get the timing down, combat is kind of difficult. It doesn't feel very fluid even though it looks fluid. I mean, you're just trying to pound buttons in order to make stuff to work. And so that's really doesn't, to me it doesn't seem very fun. But the visuals of combat look amazing. And so it's a very aesthetic, high visual. Like I said, it has a high TNA factor in it, as I can show you here. Barely have any armor on. So it has a very specific demographic what this is shooting for. And it's a free-to-play, and it has a microtransaction system in it, which basically nickels and dimes you for inventory, for XP bonuses. It doesn't have necessarily the pay to win, but there is equipment, item upgrades, and more scantily clad and erotic clothing for you to purchase. And so it seems like this game is mostly to capitalize on teenagers and perverts. But like I said, it's kind of fun. It's free to play. The combat system is pretty and fun. This is the Shadow Walker, which is supposed to be kind of like the rogue class, but you have like a 1 minute cooldown in order to stealth, and so it's not a very good stealth class if you gotta wait for this extreme cooldown. As well as it's very gear driven, and the items just seem very difficult to get, as well as the stats are kind of confusing on what does what. The quests are very monotone. They basically continue to do the exact same thing. As you can see on my right hand side, it's kill this X amount of times, kill this X amount of times, kill this X amount of times, kill this till it drops X amount. And so every quest feels exactly the same except for different enemies. And so it's just a giant grind fest, which is pretty common and normal for most Asian-esque MMOs that I have played in the before. PvP. This game possibly has the worst PvP I have ever experienced. It is more or less who can focus fire the target quickest, who can pound the buttons the quickest. There is no real positioning or any real skill. It feels like there's no skill to this game. This game can practically be run by a bot, like a very simplistic bot, because it's already practically built in. As you see, I will tab that drift stalker, so now I have him targeted. I will hit my stealth button, pop stealth, and then I'll hit my backstab button. I'm not touching any other keys except for the ones I've just stated to you, and it practically just runs over and starts playing by itself. But yeah, and then I'll start hitting my combos, and if I can time my stuff out, there you go. And so it's very already scripted. I mean, it takes minimum skill. I mean, the most thing what I'm doing is I'm micromanaging my cooldowns so that I can get stuff timed out so I can actually hit. Let me back out and I will show you the different character classes as well. Go back to character select. But yeah, this game for the most part is very simplistic, and it's more or less selling itself on the sex appeal of this game. As you can see, the load screen as well. So the NPCs are practically flashing you. The story arc behind the game is kind of interesting, that there was some kind of post-apocalyptic war. Mankind lives in catacombs underneath the Earth's crust, and the characters that you play are all female, and they're kind of like avatars for mankind to send out and see what's going on above world. And so it's this weird four-way survival. There's two major factions, and the two major factions basically want to live under Mother's rule, which is a central intelligence for these robotic sex doll women, and the other faction just wants to be free and choose what they want without having the rules and confines of the, quote, mother, and create a surviving utopia or surviving culture for humans to come up. I have ran into human NPCs that are living on top. Apparently the radiation at this point has dwindled, and the life is completely different now, with new creatures, fungus, plant life, you name it. It's like a whole new world. But as you can see with the various characters, that there is, very one-minded inside. As you can see, here's the Royal Guards, which follows Mother, and then you have the Free Knights, who want to leave Mother's rule. I will show you the 6 classes. You have Defender, which is a two-handed wielding tank-esque class. You have the Shadow Walker, which is supposed to be your rogue-based class. They use fist daggers and claws, but like I said, it very much lacks the stealth appeal, because you have such a limited amount of stealth, as well as there is no real positioning to, like, the backstab. You can backstab someone in the face, and it does the same amount of damage if you backstab from rear. And so there is no real skill-based or positioning or dodge mechanics of any kind. It's all basic dice rolls and what your raw stats and or gear allows you to do. The Whipper, it seems like a kind of interesting class. It's a DPS class that's actually designed to attack multiple targets in AoE. It's kind of designed after, if you've ever played Soul Calibur, it's essentially Ivy, with wide arcing swings, and so they are designed, and their skills are designed to actually hit multiple targets. You have the Punisher, which is kind of like your Ranger or your Archer-based class. And then you have your Sentinel, which is kind of your quick, fast DPS. It's dual-wield pistols, and kind of focuses a little bit more on, I guess, the Punisher focuses on a little bit more on ranged DPS, ranged AoE DPS, sorry, versus yeah. And then you have your Medic, which has special buffs and debuffs and is designed to basically heal the party. So this is essentially the game. It's not too deep. If you're just looking for something that's eye candy, this is what up your alley. Just be warned that it seems like to be competitive played and or comfortable play, you're going to get nickeled and dimed through their microtransactions. Mind you, this game is still in beta, as you see up in the left-hand corner. It's version 0.9.20431, yada yada. And so it's not even officially released yet, and they're already nickeling diming people. It's ridiculous. This is a beta game that's already charging people for microtransactions, but not subscription fee. There's no subscription fee, but heavy microtransaction influence. There's constantly your inventory is constantly being bombarded with messages about what's new on the market. Buy this, buy that. They're already having bonus sale weekends. You know, if you spend $1 in their auction, they'll give you a chance roll on event items. And so they're already pushing the market and the monetization of this game before the game's even out. So my fear is that people are going to get sucked in with buying this game, or not buying this game, but paying for all these things, and then losing out on the event when they decide to maybe just pull out on the actual release of a full version of this game. Like I said, the only differentiating feel of the game is the slight change of mechanics of what class you play. But even then, when you play a specific class, it's all every class is going to feel the exact same compared to the other one. And so, like, right now, what I'm doing, this is a introductory character, and you can click on the name of the quest, and I'm not even controlling the character. All I did was click on the name of the quest giver, and it's going to autopilot me to it. And so this game is designed for the lazy and the pervy. But the combat, like I said, it's kind of interesting, especially if you're into the anime-esque, just high flourish, high kind of graphics. But even then, like, some of the conversations that you'll run into are kind of erotic in nature, as well as the characters hitting on each other. And I mean, this is good for some folks. I played it just because it was something different, caught my eye. Didn't know that it was going to be this over-the-top TNA, but it's free to play, and if you're looking for something to kill time, then it's not too bad. But just be mindful that the PvP feels very non-skill based. Just pound the keys as fast as possible, focus fire it down. The quests are exceedingly monotonous. I've actually taken breaks from this game just because I just can't take doing another kill 10x characters, creatures, or gather x 10 of this. The aggro system and the survivability of characters, like I said, I mostly only played one character, which was the Shadow Walker, which the survivability seems horrible, and the cooldowns for your abilities, it's like designed to just blitz down one character and then run away, or like hide out and rest. Blitz down one character, rest. And the quest, half the time there's not even a quest giver. You're just getting emailed quests. And so I'm showing you the graphics of the Defender, which, I mean, the attacks look great. The animations for the attacks look awesome. But like I said, it's free to play, so you can't expect a ton. The storyline is kind of interesting. The visual designs of the creatures and the monsters that you have to go against are entertaining. The dungeons, I'm hoping they get more difficult in later levels. I've done a few, but for the most part, I've done them without even having to bother with a healer. And the nice cool part is that the dungeons that I do like about this, because I'm a huge solo kind of player, because a lot of times I don't have time to group up with people, or I'm kind of introverted. I don't want to talk to people. I will play MMOs with people that I know and friends, but sometimes I will play by myself. And so the dungeons in this game actually have a solo option. You do get penalized. You have a much, much lower chance of getting any useful gear, or even sometimes even gray item drops. Gray items are useless items that are meant to sell to vendors. Again, inventory space is a premium. You have to pay for proper inventory space. As you can see, this character actually doesn't have the tab. My previous character that I was showing you actually has a tab that has a time limit of the extra time. And when you buy extra inventory slots, it's not like you permanently own that extra inventory slot. I got it because I run a roll, and so I got it as a bonus item. But it's designed actually to, you only get to use it for like 30 days. And so after 30 days, you no longer own that inventory slot. And so if you want that inventory slot, you have to go pay for another month. Which, to me, I don't find that fun. I'm not saying I have a problem with free-to-play MMOs, but I haven't hardly seen any free MMOs that have done it to the point where I kind of enjoy it, other than, I would have to say, DDO, Dungeons & Dragons Online, I think did it very well. Well, this is the end of my review for Scarlet Blade. Hope you guys enjoyed. If I had to give it a rank out of 10, I think I would give this game a 4. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night.